Welcome to State to the Nation. I am Tommy. He is Shooter. And who is our guest today, Mr. Hunt?
We have Phil Wade from the Hoosier State, Indiana, to talk all things Hoosier baseball.
Yep, and we've got some draft names we're going to start with. Phil, before we get there, I want to let you introduce yourself. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Appreciate you guys letting me on.
All right, we'll start with the draft names, and everyone's heard the name Max Clark. We've talked about him maybe 600 million times, so we'll leave him out of it. Max, sorry. If you want to hear yourself named again, just watch any other video we've made. I promise it's there. Who else is in the Hoosier State that is going to get drafted?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of right-handers that were actually Super 60 participants. First guy is Bishop Letson. I thought he was a huge winner at the Super 60. Wiry, athletic, 6'4", 175 pounds. So there's plenty of room to add strength. Moves easy down the mound. It was 92, 94, I believe, at the Super 60. Mm-hmm. High spin rates, 2,500 plus. Quality change, quality slider for strikes. So really has that true starter profile.
And Phil, what I loved about him at the Super 60 is was helped him become a big name and riser out of that is the fact that he looked the part of a starter. And there's way more premium emphasis placed on the value of a starting pitcher. Bishop Letson's only going to get bigger. I'm going to talk about this entire time. Indiana, silky jump shots and power arms. That's what Indiana does. And Bishop Letson's just another one of those guys that hopped in, showed his stuff, full arsenal of pitches, but how easy he moves down the mound and the explosiveness of that fastball. He's only going to get better. But he wasn't alone there at the Super 60. I mean, Jake Hooker was another big revelation there, too.
Yeah, late ad, really worked hard this offseason. Sturdy right-hander, up to 95 as well. I think he ended up with like the second or third highest fastball velo at the event. Repeats well, really aggressive slider in the mid-upper 80s, kind of under the radar type prospect. So it'll be fun to watch him this spring and garner the attention of the scouts in the area.
Yeah, he's a Xavier recruit, and he's a guy that you and I have talked about for years now because he's a two-way guy. Also an infielder, probably has a chance to do both at Xavier, although after watching him at the Super 60, he's obviously put in a ton of time on the bump in his throwing program, so he's got a chance to hear some draft hype for sure. Loved what he had to bring at the Super 60. But then these last two guys are both fairly well known. Andrew Wiggins, big bat from the left side, and then Cam Tilley, another right-hander.
Yeah, Wiggy's a strong, athletic, left-handed hitter. Really has a feel for the barrel, ability to drive the ball to all fields with some pop to his pull side. And then, a couple outings last year makes him an intriguing two-way prospect at the next level. Fastball in the low 90s, good downhill plane and a downer breaking ball. And then the last guy I think people are going to want to keep an eye on is Cam Tilley, Auburn recruit, another power-armed righty. Out of Indiana, up to 95 last summer, played for Team USA in the fall. It's got the frame, sharp breaking ball, so high ceiling for Tilley as well.
Gold medalist.
Yeah. Yep.
They might be able to use them on the World Baseball Classic this team this year after their performance against Mexico. Who knows? So we had a nice event out in Indiana, the preseason all-state event. Phil, how'd it go?
It went awesome. That's generally our best event of the year, and this year definitely did not disappoint. Going back through our notes, we had somewhere of 25 arms up to 90 or better on the mound between the 2 days. Had over 300 kids attend, 54 sub-7 runners, 17 guys touching 90 or above at their positions, more than 20 98-mile-an-hour exit velos. The talent was unreal.
And you and I talk about it. I'm following it from a distance, saying, "Geez, there's another arm." Each one came one after another, and we're putting together this list of these names for the show right here. It's hard to do because there are just so many guys that are that talented. And each year, the preseason event, right? You're going into the high school season. What do coaches need to watch? What do scouts need to be following? And that event ends up being kind of the blockbuster preview for what to see in the spring. And the first guy you wrote on here is part of that 24 class in Indiana, which I think goes head-to-head with any other state in the country. But Jack Brown, a Louisville commit, was up to 94.
Yeah, up to 94. Really had standout metrics in multiple areas at the event. He's strong, 6'1", 200 pounds, very athletic. Ran a 6.65 in the 60, posted an event best 37.5 vertical jump. Had the best fastball velo of the day at 94. where he sat 91, 93 with tons of arm side. Feel for the off speed. He can also hit. I don't know if Louisville's looking at him to do that at the next level, but seeing him in the spring and the summer, he's always hitting at the top of the lineup. Has a violent swing, advanced bat speed. I think he hit a ball over 101 at the event. So very athletic, intriguing kid.
Well, the correlation in that athleticism and to the mound and the velocity is just very much in line with what Jack Brown brings with that velocity. I think it's going to continue to jump. I love that the jump mats we're able to utilize because they are very telling in some future stuff. And I know a lot of MLB teams are locked in on that data. But who else did you get to see there?
Big winner for me was Ethan Lund, 6'4", 205-pound left-handed arm out of Hamilton Southeastern. Saw him last summer. He was an intriguing kid on our list for potential future gamers last year. When we saw him, a lot of 83, 85, touching 86. Showed feel for the breaking ball, but it was slow. But came out this past weekend, was 90-92, top 93. And the breaking ball was the separator. Spun possibly the best breaking ball at the event at 76-78. Sharp, 1-7 action, 2,700 plus RPMs on the breaking ball.
And we talk about those good movers, and Ethan Lund you're talking about was a little bit lower last year, but a guy that we discussed a lot because he was such a good mover down the mound with that quick arm. We had kind of expected to do it, probably just like Purdue thought he would do. And it's steadily risen. So it's awesome to see him continue to rise, especially, you know what, after hearing these first two, the 24 class of arms in Indiana is better than any other state in the country. So I'm just going to say that right here. But
we heard it.
Well, what about a third guy who throws 96 across the infield, not even on the mound?
Yeah, this is actually one of Shooter's favorites in our 24 class. Griffin Tobias out of Lake Central, 96 mile an hour across the infield. He was up to 91 on the bump. So Griff is a kid we've known since, I think, 13U Junior Future Games a few years ago. And he's really just taken off. We've been waiting on him to kind of make that next jump tools-wise, and he showed it this past weekend. 96 across, 91 on the bump. Had a really good round of BP, ran a sub 760, just showcased well everywhere. So intriguing two-way prospect for IU here in a couple of years.
He's definitely got some it factor to him. And I can remember back to see him on the mound. I think it was 77-79 or so when we first saw him. But the metrics, there's just so much that goes beyond just what the radar gun is saying. There's other things that go into it. So don't just live and die on the radar gun, people.
No, and he's not a flashy defender by any means, but he flat out catches and fields the baseball. I think he went the whole summer last year without a single error at shortstop, and very valuable for any.
We'll get some bats. What about this bat, Hogan Denny, kid race?
Yeah, I was about to say you don't want to live and die by the radar gun, but if a guy hits 8 out of 10 balls over 100 miles an hour, that's pretty good, right?
Well, and it shows in game as well. It's not just a max effort. I'm trying to hit the ball as hard as I can. Like, it produces in game. 8 out of 10 balls he hit over 100 miles an hour. Aggressive intent, possesses advanced bat speed. It's a rare combo for me of barrel accuracy and strength. So 102.8, I think, was his high exit velo. So, and also did really well behind the mound during the showcase. Legitimate catch and throw abilities. A lot of sub-2 pop times for Hogan. So another intriguing prospect in the 24 class that's not a pitcher.
Yeah, and I should tee this up before you go, Shooter. We are talking about Hulk Hogan Denny right now because we never got to say his name initially, but Shooter, go.
Let's move on to those 25s. Who else did you see?
All right. You want anything to add?
The Hulk Hogan Denny. I was going to throw up an NWO and Hollywood Hogan Denny.
It's never too late. It's never too late to throw up that. Anyway, we'll go to the 25s now. We'll start with another guy going in IU, another power arm. It's Blaine Metz.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just repeating myself with power arm right-handers from Indiana. But Blaine Metz, he was very, very impressive. Polished arm, feel for the zone, 91, 93, sharp 10-4 slider into the low 80s. Feel for the changeup. Actually attends the same high school as Bishop Letson down at Floyd Central. So it will be a lot of fun to watch this spring. Actually have them ranked fairly high in our recently released rankings. So. And then Xavier Carrera, two-way standout, electric arm, uncommitted. It's got major talent at 6'2", 185 pounds, long levers, creates easy pop. He was 90 on the bump, 92 across the infield with good glove actions, sub-7 runner. Just a big athlete with serious upside.
I can't wait to see him this summer.
Yeah. Had a lot of people reach out on him.
And what about some and Tommy, these uncommitted spring fouls? A lot we talk about the preseason. Who's uncommitted? Who can we go see this spring?
Yep. So 24's couple future gamers. I'll start off with Adam Buchkowski, 6'2", 190 pounds, up to 90, able to drop down from a low sidearm slot into the mid-80s. Really high spin rates at 2,500 plus. Separators his sweeping breaking ball. Nick Heitman, live arm, was up to 92 at the preseason All-State. High spin breaking ball, wiry, athletic, 6'3", 190 pounder. Another big frame in Michael Fliss, an uncommitted junior, up to 88, sharp breaking ball. And then Parker Rhodes is a 25. I think a lot of schools and coaches are going to want to watch this spring. 89.90, 2,600 plus RPM, athletic, 6'1", 170 pounder.
Sounds like
Parker Rhodes, the automobile.
Yeah.
Your future games teams should be pretty good. I'm thinking.
I'm thinking if they hold off, we'll see what happens.
You want to make any brash predictions right now about the future games?
That we should be back in with the big 4 or big 3, whatever you put us in last year, Shooter.
I think you are the big one, so that's what it comes down to.
That's what we're striving to be. We're striving to get in that conversation.
Awesome.
All right, gentlemen, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Go Indiana.
Go Indiana. I mean, it's March Madness season, basketball, baseball, whatever. I mean, it's Indiana's time right now. Guys, thanks for joining us. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.